Are you looking to build an emotional connection with women, or are you just looking for sex? And that's a question that you need to answer for yourself. That's something that you need to figure out for yourself, what you are looking for in a relationship or with girls. I would say psychopaths are more likely to just purely think about the girl as just as an object for sex. And guys like myself would rather have a girl that's more on my level, can speak relatively good English, relatively intelligent, worldly, someone that I can connect on more of an emotional level and have conversations with. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is I have had a few, there's not many, but any criticism, I'll jump on it and attack them. And so I'm overblowing how much criticism or hate I get. There's only really been 2 or 3 profiles that have popped up, and they've said, "Oh, Asian girls are easy." Yeah, I understand where that's coming from, being in Asia, where you can see how, and I've learnt this while I've been here, that you can swipe right on Tinder and have a girl who is relatively okay looking. She might not be very well groomed. She might not be able to speak English at all. She might not be educated at all. You might not be able to, she might not even shave her legs. But she might be genetically cute enough to sleep with. And you can just swipe right on Tinder, match with her, and she can come straight around. And sure, that is easy, but is that the type of emotional connection you're looking for? Is that the type of girl that is on your level? Is that the type of girl, because you've got to keep in mind, Asia has, on average, the highest IQs in the world. Asia is now possibly the most important region in the world. It's where most of the high-tech goods are created, high-tech manufacturing, apart from the United States, and is slowly starting to overtake the United States. These are the most intelligent people on planet Earth, and the most industrious. Now, you can build a solid emotional connection with an intelligent girl from Asia, definitely. And I would argue that they're the highest quality women on planet Earth. Large percentages of Asia is still conservative, and they understand that they treat men with respect over here. Now, if you're swiping right on Tinder and you're matching with girls from the farm that are coming over, then you might be more of a psychopath and you say it's easy. But just because you have a surface level understanding on what you're capable over here doesn't mean that you actually know what you're talking about. It's like when you dig deeper into a topic, you tend to realize how little you knew. And intelligent people, when they understand the basics of let's just say the economy, they think they know everything. I know what inflation is. But then if they go and do a degree, they go do a PhD, they realized, oh, I just realized how little I do know about this topic. And when it comes to pickup and cold approach, most of the guys that say, oh, Asia's easy, it's because it's very simplistic, surface level understanding of it from the point of view of some guy that has 2 IQs rubbed together, swipes right on Tinder, matches with some farm girl, pays $10 for her to come out, what I did actually last night. And I couldn't even talk to the girl. There's no emotional connection. We couldn't discuss any intelligent conversation. We didn't have one intelligent conversation at all. It was more like, "Mo, over here eating," and that wasn't enjoyable to me. Whereas the girls that I met in the nightclub through cold approach, and the girls that I'm texting now, which is a little bit slower through cold approach through day game, that I've met in the mall, and the girls that I've met in my apartment as well, that are awesome girls. That I had a date with one of my day game approaches yesterday, and she she sits down and she's like, "What have you been doing?" And I was like, "Oh, for about 5, 6, 7 years, I spent my time complaining about China." And I explained to her what I was doing. I was creating propaganda against China. I found myself as an advisor to a federal politician. We talked about all of these things. Now, she then started talking about inflation. She started talking, she showed me her phone. Her phone was a HTC. She goes, I bought this because it's made in Taiwan and I wanted to support Taiwan. I was like, whoa, this girl's on my level. She understands it. Then we talked about COVID. I gave her my take on how the whole thing's a scam and how it was really an economic play that the United States created to hurt China's economy. She got that as well. We had a proper connection, right? Then I discover that she's a personal assistant for a guy who's doing marketing. Then we talked about social media. We had a proper connection. I enjoyed the conversation, and on top of that, she's better groomed, comes from a better family. Better family it's not someone's fault if they're from a bad family. I came from a terrible family. I came from the ghetto. But she's well-rounded girl that I had a proper connection with. Now, where did I meet her? I met her in the street during the daytime, day game. I was like, whoa, she's cute. Approached, ran my game. I got the date. We had a nice coffee and a connection. If I had more time here, I'd be dating those types of girls. Now, most guys that go to Asia, or most guys that are good-looking guys in the West, what they do is they just swipe right on Tinder, and they... hang on. Just trying to... It's hard holding this thing up. And they match up with some Asian girl, even in the West or in Asia, and they see it purely as seeing the girl as an object, as a sexual thing, an object to have sex with. That's all she is. They're the guys that say Asian girls are easy. They don't build emotional connection. The Asian girl comes over, she's maybe a little bit submissive. It's through Tinder or some online thing. The guy's got no charisma. He's most probably a psychopath or a narcissist. These are the guys that say Asia's easy. But these guys, if we met up, if we spent, say, 3 weeks like I spent here now, and one of the girls that I met through Cold Approach, I brought her out, and one of these guys that say that Asian girls are easy brings his Tinder date out that he's been dating, or the hottest girl that he could find off Tinder or whatever, and we meet up, we go to dinner together. My girl is going to look down on his girl. My girl's going to go, oh, okay, you're from the farm. That's good. Welcome. How long did it take for you to travel? I did this already, by the way. So I met up with a guy who was only meeting girls through Tinder. I brought a lawyer out, and she was a lawyer working for a financial company here. She comes out fully groomed. She looks great. Her English is perfect. She even drove out here in her car. And then the guy that I was hanging out with, who's here in Asia, he brought his girl, and his girl got on a motorbike from an hour away. The usual thing. This is what the girls on Tinder do. And she's sitting there quiet, looking at her phone the entire time, awkward. She can't communicate with us. And it's just the three of us talking, my date and the guy, and his girl is just sitting there awkwardly just looking at a phone the entire time. Now, that's the difference I'm talking about here. Now, he obviously didn't care. He was just like, but you could visibly see that my girl was like, okay, well, that's a farm girl. It's the same as in Australia. You have guys from the country and they don't really add a lot to the conversation. They want to talk about cow tipping and farming and all this other weird shit. And they're not very worldly. They've never gone overseas. They want to talk about the footy and all these boring topics. and they're not really in type of people that I personally can have a good conversation with. Now, this is the difference here, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that cold approach is the superior method. And sure, you can say Asian girls are easy, but it's what type of Asian girls you're getting. And I think I've made the point that if you're a psychopath just looking for a girl that can't even speak English and you're just using her as a sexual object, sure, come down here, swipe right on Tinder or whatever. And if you're good looking enough to do that in Australia, sure. I'm only here for 3 weeks, by the way. I spend most of my time in Australia and I spend most of my time in Asia, but I can film over here and I can show what I get up to a lot more freely without worrying about my authoritarian government shutting me down or locking me up for stupid feminist crap. But if you learn cold approach, then you'll have access to the lawyers, the girls that will come and pick you up in their car, the girls that will show you around and how you'll be able to build a proper emotional connection, the girls that will have a good conversation with you, and they will be a great complement to your life. Most of those girls don't really use Tinder because they're going to meet the type of psychopathic loser guys on those apps that they don't really want to date as well. You've got to think about it from their point of view as well. Not all girls are on online dating, and not all Asian girls are easy, and I would say the higher tier, more sophisticated ones that you truly want to date, that have a lot going on in their lives and can add a lot to your life, you can't really get them other than through cold approach. I would say the next level down from online dating is going to be the nightclub girls. But I have noticed that they are sophisticated, they have money, they can hold a conversation, you can build an emotional connection. But a lot of them do party a little bit too much. They're more likely to have a higher body count, alcohol addiction, some of them smoke as well. Whereas, unless you get lucky, some of them are just out for a party once in 6 months. They might go out and you might have just caught them on the right night. But the majority of the really good girls that I've met has been in the mall, has been on the street, it's been in cafes, through, cold approach through day game. So even here in Asia, where it is easier and my threshold, my mate value has risen over here, cold approach and day game is still the superior method. In Australia, you've got no choice but day game. If you're around the threshold of mate value, if you're not in the top 10%, forget about it. Day game is the only way you're going to get yourself the type of girl that you want to lock in as a girlfriend. It's literally the only way, unless you're in the top 10, 20% of attractiveness or mate value within Australia, which is not many guys. There's not many of you out there. Probably top 10% if you're lucky. 20% if you're still super good looking, but you have to be rich to add that extra to compete with the top 10%, because girls will always sleep with the top 10%, always. So again, if you're in Australia and you are looking to learn some cold approach, you're single, online dating isn't working for you, you spent all this money on your Instagram, it's not working for you because it's an Instagram arms race out there, and you're losing. You're not meeting any girls in the nightclubs that are coming back and dating you, and you're looking for a girlfriend. Hit me up. Go to the website. Sign up to do some cold approach coaching with myself. We can get started as soon as possible. And yeah. I'll see you guys next video.